I do want to start off with Munguia. Surprisingly, Andrade revealed that Munguia, he requested to be removed from the mandatory position, and he pretty much bypassed his opportunity to fight for a world title. What's your take on Munguia turning down an Andrade fight? The moment he became Andrade mandatory, he gave up on his mandatory position and elected to go elsewhere. So what's your thoughts on Munguia doing what Ryan did? T.O. and Lomachenko, instead of petitioning to fight somebody, they petitioned not to fight somebody. I mean, that makes no sense at all. Devin once said, the new way of ducking is pricing yourself out. I say that's the old way of ducking. The new way of ducking is petitioning through email. The new way of ducking is requesting to be removed from your position through email. That's the new way of ducking in the sport of boxing. See, in the UFC, the new way of ducking maybe is pricing yourself out, maybe. But in boxing, money ain't even the issue no more. Fighters are getting paid great money. I'm not going to say they're getting paid too much because it's never too much since they put their life on the line. Nevertheless, the money is not the issue. Now the new way of ducking is petitioning through email. What's your take on what Munguia did with Andrade?
What do you think of Liam as a fighter?
I mean, listen, Williams is not somebody that's on my radar, just speaking facts. But for him to, I don't know, get whatever knockouts, that's cool. That's fine. It happens. And him to earn his spot to where he is, and Munguia, who really was my number one guy, to turn down to fight me, and he's number two now, to him to say yes for the opportunity to fight Demetrius Andrade, kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, congratulations, man, you made it. It's a damn pleasure when you get there. But when you get there, it's different when you're fighting the guy at the end of the day.
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you for bringing this to my attention, because I was shocked when I heard about this, and I'm probably just going to just say to hell with Jaime Munguia and all the crappy fake Mexican boxing fans, because last time I checked, Mexicans were trying to say that Mexicans run boxing. But, it seems like that most of your own don't want to fight the best. So I think that narrative itself is pretty much a falsified statement, because the Mexicans were running boxing. Wouldn't you be seeing more Marco Antonio Barreras, Eric Morales's, all these great, legends that have put their lives into the sport for such a lifetime to make their names and legacies grow stronger? Well, I'm pretty sure everybody knows, what their blueprints are now, because they're not fighting the best and they're being absolute pussies at this point, because it just so happens to seem that your record matters more than anything else in this current era. But back then, when guys like Sugar Ray Robinson was fighting like once every week or a couple weeks or so, he didn't care if he lost. Like when he lost to Jake LaMotta, he came back and beat the living crap out of him, right? So why can't everybody else have that same energy when they get back into the ring to, redeem themselves, to get themselves, but their wins back? I used to wrestle back in high school, and I went 27-3, but, I didn't care if I lost. I just got back to the drawing board and I got better, so on and so forth. I think this is purely disgraceful to the Mexican heritage of what Jaime is doing, and this is bad for boxing, and this really needs to stop.
Shout out to Doggy Pup for the super chat. It's one thing to worry about Canelo Alvarez being protected and petitioning for the franchise witness protection, but now we got to worry about Munguia? Really? It's one thing for the champion to avoid a dangerous mandatory. We get it. As the champion, maybe they feel like, okay, I got too much to lose. This dude is too dangerous. He's too much of a young lion. Let me fight him once he becomes bigger. Whatever excuse. But boxing is in a sad state where even the challenger is turning down an opportunity to become a champion. This is the state of boxing today, which is sad to say the least, because, like I said, Canelo is the pioneer of this witness protection. And now we even have challengers doing this. And the more this occurs, the more ducking will continue. I call it NBF season continues. Munguia is not just Andrade mandatory. I believe he's even Trollo mandatory. And you don't see him pressing. He is?
Yeah, I believe by the WBC rankings, he should be number one.
Okay.
As far as I know. I think in his last fight or the fight before that, he fought for WBC interim belt. I'm not too sure. I have to check up on that.
Right, and I heard that he's the WBC mandatory as well. So you're not going to fight Andrade nor Charlo? I mean, petition to fight somewhere. If you're going to petition not to fight Andrade, at least petition to fight Charlo. If you're going to duck one fighter, at least fight the other. Don't duck everybody as a challenger. It's mind-blowing to me, but this is where Andrade have to peep game. Andrade is getting frustrated. Andrade came out and said that, listen, I'm moving up in weight. I'm moving up to 168, so hell with it. I'm not chasing Canelo. I just want to fight the best. He want to fight Charlo, Canelo, anybody, right? Now, Andrade must realize if you're going to move up in weight to 168, if it's not for a title shot right away, then don't move up. Because this is what Munguia is doing. He's waiting Andrade out. He's waiting Andrade till he move up in weight. Once Andrade move up in weight, he's going to be like, okay, I'm ready to capture a title. And then he captures the WBO title. After he does that, then Gennady Golovkin and Munguia might unify. Surprisingly enough, Gennady Golovkin turned down a Munguia fight. I thought Munguia was tailor-made for Gennady Golovkin. You know, I mean, I'm extremely shocked to hear that Gennady Golovkin is not even interested in a Munguia. If you're not going to fight Munguia, then you will never fight a Charlo or an Andrade. But he might be interested in Munguia if he becomes the WBO champion, because it's a very winnable fight for a unification. So if you do the math, maybe this is what Gennady Golovkin planned in the long run. Therefore, Andrade have to be very calculated. Since they are being calculated, they have a calculated plan to how to avoid these fighters on the coincidental list. Andrade better have a calculated plan, a strategic plan to force these fighters to fight him. So if Munguia is waiting him out to move to 168, nah, don't do it. Stay at 160, force Munguia to fight you or to go somewhere else and lose his position completely, unless you get an opportunity at 168 for a title right away, which is not going to happen anytime soon because the winner of Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders have been avoiding Andrade for years. Billy Joe Saunders got tested positive for steroids when he was supposed to fight Andrade. And then when Andrade wanted to fight him later on, Billy Joe Saunders did not want to fight Andrade when he was clean. He said, hell no. And Canelo did the same thing. He didn't want to fight. He gave up on his dream of becoming undisputed the moment Andrade won the WBO belt. So at the end of the day, or at least the night, Andrade, he has to move very strategically to force these fighters to corner them and get them in the ring. Like I said before, Andrade is now the only one being ducked. You see Ryan doing the same thing to Devin Haney. You see Oscar Valdez, he's doing the same thing to Shakur. This is a trend that's continuing, that's destroying the sport of boxing. It's hurting the sport when the best do not fight the best, and when a fighter works his way up and climbs the ladder all the way to the top. As soon as he gets to the top of the mountain, he want to go down a couple layers. What sense does that make? So the state of boxing is really bad. We got to talk about the fighters that's avoiding more so than the fights that's getting made. This is what kind of state boxing is in.
Hold it, hold it. Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.